We are now going to get ready for our first match. It is Community Starcraft. Aegis, known from the Home Story Cups and the Big Gabriel Cup, around 3,400 MMR, had expressed her desire to play in the Big Brain Bouts a while ago. I said I can't make any promises because obviously a lot of people like to play in the first match, but you know, what's better to invite than somebody who always plays in online cups, goes to offline events, and is very active within StarCraft. I feel like once in a while, it makes total sense, even if the MMR is maybe a little bit lower than what we would normally start off with. But we've had Air play, and if Air can play, Aegis can absolutely play as well. I don't know if that is Diamond. These days, I feel like the leagues are a little bit messed up. But yeah, I would go with first match, probably Diamond, MMR. ToonDragon is Diamond. And these two guys are going to, or these two players are going to be between like 3-2, 3-4. Obviously, nobody has an exact number that is attached to their name, right? It's like, this is what I always am, no matter what happens. I'm never higher, never lower. I hope it's close. First match, obviously, it could be not so close. I think throughout the night, we'll see a couple of very close games. Hopefully, the PvP is as good as last time Seb played PvP on the Friday night, but we'll talk more about that later. You think Toon has 7k TVZ? Well, he's not playing TVZ. Aegis said that she would love to play, and ideally not against Protoss. I had some help. I don't know much about ToonDragon, but the things that I've heard are very positive. People apparently praise him. He's a very nice guy. He also already said that he doesn't want the prize money. He said he loves what BASILISK does for StarCraft, and he would like us to use it in a different way. I told him that it's okay, and he can still take it, and he can give it to one of his favorite streamers and let them run an event. He said, no, I prefer to just let you guys keep it. So that is very sweet. He's just here to compete, have fun, put on a show, and hopefully have a good series. Yeah, that is very nice. It's absolutely not needed because we are running these events to give money to the community. But hey, if players don't want it, that's obviously their right. We can't force you to take it. We can only offer it. Yeah, he says it's easier if, like I had a little conversation with him. I can read it word for word. I told him that he can just take it, or he can give an email account or a PayPal from somebody else that he feels is going to do something nice with it. But he says that he prefers... what did he say exactly? I don't really... He said he didn't have anybody in mind, so he will probably be more comfortable with the above arrangement. And the above arrangement was... I was thinking, would it be cool if I could contribute whatever payout I get back into a pool to the future, perhaps to fund a future event? So a different event, maybe we can put on the ToonDragon bonus if we run something special for the Big Brain Bouts number 100. Well, we'll keep it in mind. Sweet of him. Not needed, but it's very nice. Shows that the passion that these nerds have is not always all about the money. It's just about playing some video games and have a good time. He could have given it to charity, but he said he's more... I suggested a couple things, guys. We can move on. He said he's more comfortable with just letting us keep it and hope to do something nice with it in the future. If that's his wish, that's his wish, guys. That's where the story ends. We move on and we get ready for some fun game piece. Apparently, something is going wrong with the veto process. They are currently deep into their vetoes. Aegis picked a map that was banned. Tailless man, apparently. So what I've heard from ToonDragon is that he's a bit of a mech enjoyer. Now, I struggle with mech, and I cannot imagine that I'm the only Protoss, especially when the MMR gets a little bit lower. I kind of feel that going up against somebody who plays mech a lot, is comfortable with the different looks of mech and with different things that he scouts, it can honestly be very difficult. I am sure that Aegis has gotten some help from some of her friends. Like 6.1k Wingend, for instance. I know that Wingend and Aegis get along great. I saw them spend quite some time at the Home Story Cup. Mech ain't the problem. Yeah, I feel like it's never that easy. You know, there's one game that lives rent-free in my head, where I said, this is how you should play mech. And it was on that silly map, Ratu said. And it was actually played correctly. And mech looked invincible. I don't know if it was TY or whoever did it. I still think, I really genuinely believe that there is mech potential in this matchup. I really, really do. And there are so many games, like that game that SKillous had a while ago. I forgot what it was. Was it Masters Coliseum? Where you had a turbo banger of a game on... with the crazy warpins on Neon Violet Square. You can't say that it didn't look close there. And some people are like, mech sucks, mech always loses. But I feel like the Terran that SKillous plays was so was Gumi, right? Gumi was so close to getting it done. But I guess that is maybe a bit of an issue, and maybe that's the story of mech. That it always looks so close, but in the end there is just one final round of warpins that gets the job done. I never have that round of warpins, but... Pai is going to set up the lobbies, because I believe Indy will not be joining us tonight. That's obviously not an issue for the second series, the third series, the fourth series, people that play tournaments all the time. I think they can handle it themselves. That shouldn't be an issue. I hope that Solar is going to make it. Solar is in our main event today against ShoWTime. He said he's down. Alarm clock should be set. Maybe he's staying up. I don't know what we will do. But he has agreed. I'm still a tiny bit worried whenever Korean players agree, but it's been looking good lately with Bjorn and Bonnie showing up. So ready when you guys are. I'll let Aegis and ToonDragon know that we are good to go. I haven't fixed my overlay. Alright, BBB in-game chat and single cam. Wait. This is the one, yeah. Sorry. Now it's all set. Okay, good luck, have fun. Game is already. Pai has left the lobby. It is Aegis making her debut. She has said a couple times that she'd love to play. She also wrote in Twitch that she's afraid to write in the Big Brain channel on Discord. Never be afraid, guys. Even if you don't get selected, you can always try. You can always apply. It doesn't hurt, and it definitely puts you on my radar. But hey, I understand. Not everybody is about this public yapping all day, every day. It's all good. We got the match going. Big Brain Bouts number 89 is a go. With two players that we've never had before. 60 bucks for the winner, 15 for the loser. Let's do it.
Let's get it on. Round 1, fight.
Top right side of ley lines, a man that I have never casted before. ToonDragon from the Platinum Heroes, a Singaporean Terran player. Look at us, guys, expanding that player pool. We'll always find a way. A Terran from Singapore who loves mech. At least that's what they all tell us. In the bottom left side, we are looking in the main base of our German Protoss. As someone who has attended a HeroMarine Cup, maybe 2 of them even, but definitely 1. And a couple of home story cups at this point. Good friends with a couple of the guys from my stream. This is Aegis. ToonDragon has their own style. I'm excited. Seems like a very lovely person, as I said, and I already went over the entire interaction. I think that's always very sweet. It is not needed. Like, if we would rather keep the money, then we would not host the events at all, right? Like, we're doing this for the community to make some nerds happy, make gamers happy that have shown love and passion to Starcraft. But we will always respect the wishes of the participants. And ToonDragon wants us to keep it. Just here to put on a show and have fun. Aegis with a pretty early scout. Are we going to expand? So far I think the build looks quite good. Gateway, Cybercore. When it comes down to 3,400 MMR matches, we're obviously not going to analyze it and look at things the same way as when it's MaxPax versus Clem on the Monday night. I feel things are probably going to look a little bit off. I'm sure a few bad decisions will be made. Players perhaps have their own things that they believe in because they find success with it at this level. I don't know. I'm just excited. Let's lean back. Buckle up, enjoy the ride. Let's see what we there's gonna be a lot of happy little mistakes. So far, single gas HeroMarine factory. Nothing here screams unique, crazy, out of the ordinary here. Aegis is gonna open up with a chrono boost on her gateway. First adept out, a second adept in production. Early bunker on the side of ToonDragon, I do really like that. I feel like there are too many Terrans out there that look at some of these top tier Terrans and they get away with HeroMarine, no expand with a quick cyclone and they dance SCVs in it. I was like, don't do that. Don't make your life so hard. There's a reason why I don't get Storm as quickly as some of the Korean pros. And there's probably a reason why a lot of people below the top tier Terrans should open up with a bunker. Well, talk to me, Allison. Maybe I can help. Can always try. something about you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. 3-gate Twilight opening on the side of Aegis. It should be Blink. I hope it's Blink. If it's not Blink, I mean, then we better get a quick War Prism or something for a couple Zealots with either Glaives or Adepts with Glaives or Zealots with Charge. But it is going to be Blink. ToonDragon is opening up Marines tanks, and we're now getting a Tech Lab. Don't see a Fusion Core. Don't think we have to worry about Battlecruisers yet. Oh. Wayne Gretzky, Michael Scott. How's Ovechkin? Has he broken the record yet of Wayne Gretzky? Are we almost there? I want Ovechkin to have his own spin-off on that quote. When he breaks the record, he needs to come up with something very clever, badass, and Russian. 9 goals away. I'll start watching. How many games are left in the regular season of hockey? Plenty, right? Haven't they like just started, or they're like halfway through? Honestly, Aegis has played pretty clean now. Small supply block. Right when you said that he wasn't supply block. But other than that, it all looks okay-ish. 38 workers. We can throw in some probes. Going up to 3 bases. Blink, Robo. It's a slow and steady start to our community series of the night. But it looks good to me. Hey. I think I was supply blocked more in my latter games than Aegis has been so far in her games. So she's already outperforming me. Alex can be very lucky that he's not going up against Aegis, because it wouldn't end well for him. The double factory is up, and ToonDragon now building a 3rd factory. The gamers have warned me that having a ToonDragon series could lead into a very, very long best of 5. So we could fall way behind schedule. Good news is we got PvP after this. That should be quick. Then we've got TVZ. That should be a bit longer. I'm expecting, honestly, guys, a long night of video games. I'm expecting a lot of yapping, and I hope that, I hope that everybody has a good time. I hope players have a good time. Oh, Basilisk is happy. I'm not expecting to be done within 2.5 hours tonight. That's definitely not the goal. First Immortal is out, second Immortal is on the way. What I am a little bit confused by is that Aegis has gone for an early Stargate. This could be something that someone has whispered in their ear, like, hey, you should surprise him with a couple Void Rays or play Phoenix Immortal. Can work as a surprise. It will not flow very well. It's kind of like maybe there is a world where ToonDragon goes mega heavy on tanks, and then if you kill a couple of the Marines, you can surprise him with... I'll surprise them with a couple Void Rays. Yeah, or like a quick Carriers, quick Tempest. You like this? I only like it if you actually get something going. I think early Stargates is fine, and obviously the quick +1. And Aegis has been scouting, to be fair. I don't think it's quite a blind counter, right? You can say that Aegis hasn't scouted. He has scouted plenty. I think it is good, but if it gets scouted, then your opponent can get ready for it and get Cyclones earlier with Macfield Accelerator. Can get a couple Thors in the mix, and then you have way less ground than you normally would have, because you've already been investing in air, but then the air can't quite have the surprise overwhelming effect. So I don't know if it's the smartest thing ever. ToonDragon throws down a scout, and this is a big scout, big scan. Earlier we had an interview with Clem today on Pig Stream during the Pig Festival. And Clem was saying how it's difficult to scout certain things. And of course, Dude 215p in the chat says scan! Wow, that is 4 starports, by the way. Oh my god. That's gonna take a long time though. Before you can truly get that up and running, that's gonna take a long, long time. Someone at the door. It's my neighbor. I hope Vicky sees it. Babe? Okay. Damn it. I can't pause. I'll have to send a message. Feel bad for my neighbor who's just standing there. As Blue Flame Hellions are gonna drive into the 3rd. We'll get a couple workers here. Shouldn't get all the workers. It doesn't matter. There's no rush. That's 7. Okay, that's 8. That's 9. Cyclones with Macfield doing that thing. But Aegis does still have a couple of Immortals. Those are going to be fine. Early carriers is cool, but I am not a big believer in a 3-base carrier economy. I'll just have to send a message quickly to Vicky. Hey, the neighbor is here. For his package. We are known as the Universal Postal Service in the neighborhood. Because it's either Vicky or me who's pretty much always home. So, the services know that as well, whether it's like DHL or UPS, PostNL, they just deliver everything here. They don't even, sometimes they don't even ring the doorbell of my neighbors anymore, who sometimes are home, sometimes not at home, but even if they're at home, they don't even ring them. They just ring us immediately and they just deliver it. Then I get a message from my neighbors like, hey, you guys got a package? That's so strange, we've been home all day. It's like, these guys are like, alright. That's the number, that's the spot. We don't even try the other houses anymore. We just deliver everything here and they'll sort it out. Never had any complaints. I'm confused over where Vicky went. Yeah, Vicky was actually joking that we should start becoming an official either DHL point or whatever. But then she actually had to go to somebody's home who has signed up as one of these official points. She's like, oh my god, the living room was a total mess. There were like 1 million packages there. We ain't doing that. I was like, well, I wasn't planning on doing that. You know, I'm happy with my job. I'm busy enough as it is. I really don't want to manage a whole bunch of boxes either all day, every day. She's like, yeah, but we're already doing it anyway. I was like, well, probably a difference, right, between accepting 2 or 3 for your neighbors here and there, or having an entire living room full for the entire neighborhood. Cyclones continue to dance a little bit in and out. We're gonna have Tempests. Tempests are very good against battle cruisers as long as they actually shoot at the battle cruiser. And this is something where skill does start mattering quite a bit. I'm happy though that both of them, at least here, are able to both play that game. This is not one of these games where with the first 5 zealots it's game over. And now ToonDragon's got a good setup. Honestly, Vikings is so good. Like, Aegis is gonna need to land storms eventually, but it's not easy to land storms on Vikings when you have to worry about a whole bunch of tanks to keep the High Templars at bay. There are a lot of Protoss players who will look at this situation and be like, oh, this is easy. It's a free win. This is my hell, guys. For me, this game right here would be hell. I would not want to be in Aegis her shoes. They do extra damage against massive units. So not armored, but it's massive. DCs are massive, they take extra damage. But if they shoot at Hellions, they do very little. Stalkers are going to blink. ToonDragon, if he wants to save his BCs, is going to have to town portal away real quick. Or tactical jump, we should call it. For me, this is hell, Marsbar. I'm not going to lie. I would really hate this game. There's so many starports. Terran already has 8 refineries, basically. If you saturate this one. 2, and then a double gas or a rich Vespian geyser. Very rich Vespian geyser. Yeah, I think that this game is looking good for Toon. I only see one way that Aegis is going to crush, and that is if she gets a bunch of High Templars and lands really big storms. But that is so much easier said than done. I mean, a couple of you guys in the chat would legit be better at this than me. I make no illusions. I would trust Bully in this situation over me. I would trust Alex in this situation over me. I wouldn't trust Wingant. That goes a little bit too far. But Bully and Alex? Honestly, they might be better in this situation than I am. Not Pi. Pi has never seen double digits in a game of Starcraft. Roaches hit very hard between minutes 5 and 8. Double digits is unfamiliar territory with my boy. Couple of Hellbats with Blue Flame walking into this triangle base. That is a lot of dead pros. This is really going to hurt. I'm worried. This is kind of it for Aegis, right? I kind of feel that this army really needs to take a crazy good fight, and that is going to be hard. Now, the Viking count is high, but it's not crazy high. And if the Vikings are not controlled correctly, it might still be bad, and that is not perfect Viking control. What are we going to do about the tanks? Aegis, her immortals are going to get in the range. Stalkers get in the range. BCs were here, there, and everywhere. Well, actually a very good attack so far for Aegis. Do we have Yamatos? We should have Yamatos. Are we going to Yamato? We are. That is minus a whole bunch of carriers. The final Vikings, they should go for carriers. They will go for carriers. An extra 2 BCs show up. I actually think this is going to be a hold in the end for ToonDragon. It is one hell of a fight. It is a box art fight right here. There's a few more Tempers show up, but it's still Vikings and tanks and battle cruisers doing their thing. What a fight, guys. Oh my. These two are perfect for one another. So in the end, it is 6 Immortals remaining on the ground. That is fantastic, but there is nothing that's going to protect these Tempers. Aegis is going to build even more Tempers. Yeah, but that's everything I was talking about, Adam. It's really not that easy to land big storms here. And what is that gateway? And like 8 gateways is also not that sweet amount of gateways that I think you're really dreaming of in a late game PvT versus mech. Because if 2 BCs survive with 300 HP, you can warp in 8 Stalkers all you want, but it's not going to kill the battle cruisers. For gateway units to be the determining factor as reinforcements against mech, I think we're looking at 16 to 20 gates. Archons are, I think, very, very good. I think Archons are goated as long as there are no ghosts, and there are no ghosts. So yeah, I think a few Archons would have been mega useful. I think right now, 15 minutes in, I am favoring ToonDragon's position a little. Because these upgrades are just going to be absolutely monstrous on these units. And we don't see this very often in Pro Starcraft. That is not because it is bad if you ever get there. It's just that by the time you get there, you'd just be so far behind. Better Protosses would deny your bases, would make it hard to go up to 4. They'd be on 6-7. They'd be spamming units everywhere. But 3-3 BC is incredibly hard to deal with. For any Protoss. Because most of the time the games are over before we ever get to see 3-3 BCs. Stalker defense against BCs is always painful. Tempest is still here though. We've got 10 Tempest in total. And the final shot does not connect. Yeah, there was a time where I thought it was legitimately invincible, but I think over time the top tier Protosses out there got a bit better against it, right? With cannons and batteries and Tempest poking and then Storms and Archons, and then you take an all-out fight, and even if you lose the fight slightly, if you reinforce them with 22 gateways, most of the time you can win. And if you clean up a maxed out BC army one time, yeah, the Terran is never gonna have 14 starports to remake them immediately. Yeah, TY and Neep had actually a couple of great games that looked something like this. Yeah, I think it is almost impossible to win the initial fight, but obviously as a Protoss you can win because you have better reinforcements. Spirit Creator on Grasvan. Spirit's had a couple of BC games throughout his career. No, that was from BlizzCon, Scorpion. That is a different game. That was a different matchup as well. I believe that was against Rogue, but it was a PvZ. A lot of wonderful memories. Neeb really was a proper gamer. Man started off as a Terran, but became one of the best Protosses we've ever had. We have a bunch of missile turrets. They don't have their upgrades, so the range is not as big as it could be. I am really worried here though for the Protoss army. We've got 9 VCs. We do only have 4 tanks, and the tanks may not be in the right position. We don't repair the planetary. I would say that is a big mistake, but the Tempest army, I just don't think it stands a chance. There are so many Vikings. BCs are killing the Stalkers, Vikings are killing the Tempest. ToonDragon is doing everything that a Macking Terran is supposed to do. What a game. The kids have warned me. They're like, Roddy, you don't know what you've done, inviting ToonDragon to be the first match of the day. I was like, well, I'm excited. If we have 5 games like this, guys, yeah, that is definitely a series. We're going to have to keep going. I don't know if Aegis at this point can deal with the BCs anymore, guys. 5 BCs, +3 attack, +3 armor. I assume that a couple of them indeed have Yamato available. I think that is the problem when you go into Stargate and anti-mech units a bit too early, is that you lose your momentum. And I'm not saying that Aegis could not have won with the status he played, but it really does become hard. I don't think he has played bad. I just think ToonDragon is really at home with these kinds of games. If this is stuff that he does all day, every day, no one is going to know the situations better. Thank you so much to Drizzle for the 98 months, mate. 2 months away. Are you going to sing it out to the big 100? I'd love to see it. I don't know how many members we have. Twitch should really give us like a few more stats to work with. Let us know how many subs I have that have ever gone for over 30 months, 40 months, 50 months, over 100 months. It's just be fun, right? And they definitely have that info, so something I should suggest. The problem is that I don't know who to suggest it to. You got it? Okay, yeah, I saw him standing, but I didn't want to pause the game. Again? You were stuck? Hell, stuck? Okay. Vicky apparently blocked herself in on the top floor. Behind a dryer, a washing machine, and a water... whatever it's called. Water boiler? But the neighbor's got his package. He's happy. Vicky is freed. She's happy too. And we can just continue. I wouldn't go that far, Morinda. I don't have that feeling when it comes to BCs. There are a couple units in the game that give me that feeling, but BCs absolutely is not one of them. And carriers, I'm still a little bit of a carrier believer, but for all the criticism that the Balance Council has gotten over the last few months, I do think they've done a good job in making carriers a lot worse. Now that does hurt me, because one of the main reasons why I was really good in PvZ, because I had quick carriers with upgrades and they were very good and hard to counter. So they definitely hurt me. I am no longer getting some of my on-the-zero victories, but I think they've done a very good job in limiting the immediate carriers around game-ending potential. You never hear people talk about that. They only complain about X, Y, Z, but I think they've actually done a good job with the carriers. The BCs were at the bottom side of the map. They've taken out a base. They jump back. They're going to take this fight. Archons are tanky, but there are still so many Vikings. There are so many BCs, and I think that is going to do it. Aegis may have money, but this is an army that you just don't clean up. He is going to try to recall a couple of the Tempests. A lot of good moves, but what I would love to see from Aegis in the upcoming games is to flip the script a little bit. And don't be too worried about what your opponent does, and don't adjust your game plan too much to what your opponent is doing, because they have more experience in these kinds of games. Just do your own thing. Spam some zealots, spam some stalkers, try to find openings, you know. Rely on the power of the gateway unit. And I wouldn't be too passive, because mech really does become an issue once those Terrans stabilize on 4 bases. The final Tempests fall. Nobody wants to leave with 5,500 minerals in the bank, but we have no gas. We still get walked over by carriers all day. As a Zerg, should really try just Hydra Infestor. And I know that maybe you think that that doesn't work, but the Shroud is so good. And if they have carriers quickly, they can't get Storm quickly or Disruptive, but they're not that good against Zerg anymore anyway, so... Aegis realizes that this is an army that she will no longer clean up. It is 1-0 for our Singaporean Terran ToonDragon. Banger game. A lot of box art fights there. 22 minutes. Yeah, I think Neuro is something that's also very... Yeah, actually, early Neuro is actually quite good against my style too. Everything, I guess, is good against me because I play like a baboon. Because you have a lack of detection. But even if you don't want to do Neuro, just pure Hydras with Shroud, it is so good right now. Carriers do... Somebody did the math the other day, but I think they do like 1 or 2 damage a hit on Hydras with Shroud. It just doesn't do anything. Or if you have a single queen, like a queen can literally tank 8 carriers for a solid minute straight. Yeah, I would love to see Aegis not try too hard to counter the mech player. Oh, ToonDragon is crazy, he does mech, yada yada. Just do your Protoss thing. Make a couple Immortals, make a lot of Zealots, make a lot of Gateways. Go up to a lot of bases, and in the moment that the Terran tries to go up to 3 bases, you're going to be annoying. And the moment they go up to 4 bases, you try to kill them. And now if ToonDragon is very good with Widowmine, Hellbats, he may have an answer for that, but... Do you think balance would be better served if the 5 HP Bane nerf was reverted? Yeah, I would be completely okay with the Bane nerf. I mean, I've lost my passion a little bit to talk about balance. And that's not because it's not important. I do think it's important and it matters, and it's obviously important that all 3 races have fun. It's just that it very often leads to a reasonable discussion. And what I hate most about all the balance talks is that people very often try to take credits away from amazing players and say that they only win because of their race. And because of that, I don't enjoy discussing balance that much. But I think the Bane HP is something that Zerg can absolutely get back. If you see how much of the how many Zergs out there struggle at the moment, maybe even the +2 melee thing, that would definitely make them a whole lot better again against Protoss. But Protoss is pretty damn good right now. Hello, Ravi. The biggest patch player, it might be Wingend. You know, going from 4-4 to 5k does beg the question: how good is Protoss, eh? You sure if Clem didn't exist, Terran would get buffs? Yeah, I think at this point you make a fair point. You throw him a while ago said like, yeah, it's nice to know that you give a bonus for the highest placing Zerg, but how about we give out a bonus for the highest placing Terran that ain't Clem? Yeah, I mean there's a couple Terrans that play and have deep runs, but ToonDragon is ready for game 2. Aegis is, I think, AFK for a little bit, but seems to be joining now. So that means that he's hopefully ready to. He said MB, either my bad or maybe. Ready? ToonDragon is ready. Aegis is. I'll wait until she says go. Ready. Let's hop into it. Ultra Love, game 2. I agree with what Tassad said there. Against this style, against mech, I really think that the third base is important for a mech player, but there's a lot of maps where they can have high ground tanks. You missed the old Cyclone? You have the old Cyclone. This is like the old Cyclone, mate. What do you... You missed the new old Cyclone? Or the new old Cyclone? Which one do you miss? We've had so many. I thought everybody agreed that this is the one that we settled for. Let's go ahead and hop into game 2.
Round 2, fight!
Bottom left side of Ultra Love, we are looking at the main base of a Singaporean Terran. He's up 1-0. It is ToonDragon. The one from the previous patch? Was that the one that fired very quick, or is that the one that fired less quick but had quicker lockouts? You mean the broken one? Yeah. Top right side, down 0-1. Tried to make something happen with the Immortals and the Tempest. It didn't go her way. But let's see if we can turn things around. This is Aegis. Miss the Mother Core? I don't. There are very few things that once upon a time were in Starcraft that I miss, other than the units they deleted. I'm not talking about a silly unit like the Mothership Core, but I wish there was a Warhound. I wish there was a Shredder. I wish there was a Replica. I really don't see the reason ever to delete units from the game. If they are too powerful, let them be in the game, let them be weaker, who cares? Like, just more tools is better. I really hope that Mechabellum never goes down that route where it's like, oh, we couldn't quite find the right angle for this unit, so let's delete it. Like, nah. If you don't want to build it, don't build it, but they should be there. Am I gonna cast a Warcraft 3 game with Grubby? No, I'm not planning on doing anything in Warcraft at the moment. It might change one day, who knows, maybe Warcraft 3 pops up like no tomorrow and it will be an interesting title for Basilisk too, but right now I am too busy. I do not want to get into Warcraft, I don't want to be... I'll be a fan always, but I will not be a part of anything, not stream it, not cast it. And I can't even really watch it because I don't have time for that. Well, I could make time, but that would mean that I take that time from other things that I enjoy. Whether that is watching sports or some of the other esports I enjoy. Spending time with Vicky, spending time with family, working out, whatever. Reaper fast expand this game here for ToonDragon. What you bench? Nothing at the moment, man. I'd be proud if I can just do the bar. When I say working out, I mean just playing some, being active, going for a walk, a run, play some padel. Shout out to Lambo for the raid. Welcome, guys. We are in our first series of the day. Watching a TVP. 2 players, around 3,400 MMR. The winner gets $60, the loser gets 15. Game 1, 22 minutes of BCs, Carriers, and Tempest. Honestly, pretty fun. I don't know if I want to see that 5 times. I don't think ToonDragon cares. He's gonna give us mech, baby. Whether I like it or not. you guys have any questions about either this series or the next few or the event, feel free to send them my way. And I hope the Lambo stream was fun. Lambo had a good week with Byron advancing. If Lambo ships me a jersey of Musiala, I may cheer for Bayern Munich against Inter. And I would feel like a little bit of a betrayer, but I would consider it. If there's only one unit I could ever bring back, Dr. Jet, it really would be the replica. I feel like it'd just be the dream of fun players like myself. Like, I'm not playing this game to become a world champ, because I know that that's not realistic. I still play to have some fun, and I feel that replica would just give you so many unique fun games. You can take over units, you can do... I feel like the possibilities are endless. And whether it's good or not, or viable at the highest level or not, I feel like you could do so much fun stuff with it. Just hope that Solar will be awake. Well, I kind of hope that he's sleeping now, because this is a perfectly fine time for him to be sleeping. I just need him to be awake 4 hours from now. It is not a diamond rank tourney. There are 4 best of 5 exclamation mark B or bracket both work. 4 series invitational only. The first one is a lower MMR Diamond League. After this there will be high ranked players, and the money gets bigger throughout the night. I think the days are over as the 2 official version gets new units. I agree with that. At least for a long time, until they massively change everything right over at Blizzard. But I said it the other day in the Discord. So we got a Hellion killing a probe. Once more ToonDragon going double factory. It's gonna be mech, guys. It's gonna take a little while before this one gets going. At this point, guys, my expectations of Blizzard are really low. And I have a lot of very good memories of Blizzard. They have given me an awesome career in this game. And all the people that used to work there have been very good to me back then. But these days, I don't even know what to think of Blizzard. And I never thought I would see the day where I wasn't excited over Blizzard products. But that day has honestly kind of came. And I'm sure that they'll still make a good game eventually. But I don't know if that's going to be my genre. I don't know if I'm interested in it. And I don't even know if I would really want to love it. Because it really is indeed not the same Blizzard. It is a completely different company these days. Ever since Mike and Amy left, and then more and more people that used to work on the old products left, it just became a different company. For sure, Scripps. When I was a Warcraft 3 player, mate, Blizzard was amazing. It was the one game company that would continue to support games many years after it was released. They would care about their community. The online experience would be great. They would keep on surprising you with like a new hero, new units, a fun tournament. Blizzard was so good in the early 2000s, early 2010s. I know some people have a lot of criticism of how they handled everything esports-wise Starcraft 2. And I'm sure some wrong decisions were made, but not on purpose. At least they truly tried to do a good job for a long time. And these days, it's not even that they're not doing a good job, it's like they don't care. And that's really sad. I would much rather see them be very involved and make a bad decision here and there, right? Or bank on something and okay, it goes wrong, our bad, we'll fix it, than just not care. Hearthstone is good. Well, Hearthstone should still be one of their big money makers, so I may hope it's good. Hearthstone, WoW, and Overwatch. But I don't know too much about Hearthstone, to be honest. Got a Hellion driving around the 4th base of Aegis. Seems like Aegis is going to stick to her plan to some degree of last game. With Immortals, quick Stargates, a fleet beacon. It's just a little bit of everything. I don't think this is the way, guys. I don't think this is the way to beat a mech Terran. Her economy is a lot better this game, though. Like, this is a big lead, 21 workers, so that part looks good. I'm just kind of worried, but eventually it's going to look the same. One thing that Aegis will not have to worry about is a rich Vespian geyser at the 4th base here, so that maybe helps. Makes it harder for ToonDragon to get as many Vikings as he did last game. We'll keep an eye on it. Customer service is just non-existent as well. I believe that too. Read that too, Maxime, and that is where my comments came from. Like, if the Starcraft shooter turns out to be really good, like I'm talking deadlock levels of good, I would obviously play it. And maybe some of my love will be reignited for Blizzard. But if it just turns into an okay-ish game, just because they label it Starcraft doesn't mean that I'm necessarily going to care. Like, I like the Starcraft IP, I like the universe. I love Protoss, Zerg, Terran, I love my statues, and I was a fan. But if the game turns out to be so-so, I'm not gonna play it just because it says Starcraft. I shared this before, Tassad, but I have a Diablo 3 Reapers of Souls Collector's Edition with all the autographs of all the Blizzard developers back then. I never played Diablo. Not even the regular Diablo 2, never Diablo 3. I didn't unbox it, but I still have it. Blue Flame Hellions are gonna drive into one of the bases of Aegis. That is a lot of dead workers. The respawn's a little bit late. And there's a slow warp in. These ones are fast warp ins. You really see the difference. Because this pylon is too far away. And that massive worker lead that Aegis was working with a while ago is now disappearing. To me, it really does seem that Aegis has gotten some help from her friends. I don't know who that was. Maybe it was Winged, maybe somebody else. And they said like, alright, ToonDragon is good, but he plays mech. And you should just blind counter it and you're going to be fine. But I always believe in playing something that you're very comfortable with yourself, that you've done many times, a little bit more over than this is what you're supposed to do, this is how you blind counter. Because if you don't have that killer instinct, if you're not totally certain about the progress of the games, I just think that you miss out on a lot of opportunities. And you're inviting yourself to a game that your opponent is just going to be a lot more familiar with than you are. I know it's all easier said than done, but that's how I would approach it. I believe that they are awesome, Aljiva, don't get me wrong. It's just that when I was a kid, I never got into games. I am the younger brother of a family or a household of 2 kids. And I basically always played what my older brother played. You know, whatever my big brother played, that's what I started playing to. Whether that was on the N64, later on other consoles, or even very early days Atari, and then our first computers, Pentium 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever it was. And because he never played those kind of games, Blizzard games, I never got into it until I was a bit older and I started playing Warcraft 3. I had some friends on the internet back then that were passionate about Nintendo GameCube games, so was I. And they were all discussing this game called Warcraft 3 on Skype, and I was like, alright, if they're talking about Warcraft all the time, I have to give it a shot too. Started playing it, hated it at first, eventually loved it. And 27 years later, here we are. If it wasn't for them, I probably would have never played Warcraft, would have never had the esports life. And I would have been playing Command & Conquer Red Alert with 17 people on Steam right now, together with my big brother. and maybe one day, you know, if I have some time, if I'm very happy with everything that I've done throughout the year, and if I feel like I can take it easy, I will play some Diablo, because it always looks cool. I've seen DeMusliM play it a little bit. Just a little like hack and slash and collect stuff. I think I would like it. But right now I don't allow myself to get into Neo games. Yeah. I read that Skype got closed down, yeah. I think I'd have a good time with it, but I'm already playing a few too many video games at the moment. I'm playing so many different games that Pi is, I hate to admit it, better in one of them than me. And he thinks it's 2, but it's just 1. I can't spread myself even thinner. 1 is where I draw the line. He's allowed to be better in Mechabellum, but that is it. You better than no, you're not better in F1. We'll see that this weekend. And I don't even know what other game you're thinking of, but let's be honest. In Starcraft we are leagues apart, and in Deadlock we are leagues apart. No, I have not played any Rust or Ark. I've played very few video games. I know that's hard to believe when you guys see me play a lot of different games right now. But in general, if you guys wonder, Roddy, have you played it? The answer is no. We're gonna have Carriers, Tempest, Immortals fighting a lot of Vikings, BCs, but near the planetary. I don't see this going Aegis our way. We do have High Templars, but we don't have Storm. Oh, the High Templars come in, but we don't have Storm. Now we're morphing them into Archons right underneath the battle cruisers. Oh, poor Aegis. Aegis has, I think, a lot of the right ideas, but it's just hard to execute. Things that we don't say very often about Protoss. I know. But honestly, guys, this kind of stuff is pretty difficult to execute. Protoss may be known as the A-movie race, herpy-derpy, warp in some units and you'll be fine. But taking out these kinds of armies actually does require a lot of correct clicks. And that's why I said earlier, I wouldn't trust myself to win games like this. I would trust some of the other Protosses that do this more often at a decent level. But I am not good in these scenarios and I think it's legit difficult. Without Storm, I am afraid that there is no way. And I know that sounds dramatic, but I just think if a Terran ever gets this many bases, they get this rich, they're gonna have so many Vikings. I don't see how you win this without Storm, right? I think it is too late at this point to have that multitasking dream of like, oh, a couple Zealots here, a couple Stalkers there. Terran is too rich, too well set up, too many sensor towers, exclamation mark perfect. Like, I think that window is gone. So now there is only one way to win. And that is with really good storms on the Vikings. Good target firing of your Tempest on the BCs. And good target firing with your carriers on the Vikings. I like Platinum Fleet though. That is clever. Aegis has lost 5,000 resources more. Is maybe thinking about a tiny attack. Okay, does find 4 Vikings. Hey, that's a nice little pickup. I will forever fight that statement, Dev. People saying that Mac ain't good just because they can't make Mac work against MaxPax in his prime or the son of Hero and Zest does not mean Mac is not good. I have been GM for over a decade, so no, it has nothing to do with the current patch. And I've always struggled with Mac. I struggle with Mac now, I struggled with Mac 3 years ago, 7 years ago, 10 years ago, and 12 years ago. Mac is good. And 14 years ago. I think Mac is good. Just because you don't see it being done by someone like Clem against the best Protoss players out there does not mean that no one should ever play Mac. Like, you look at these armies, you're gonna tell me that it's easy to defeat an army like this? And don't let them get there. Well, take a look at Goody, mate. Goody takes 1 base every 9 minutes. Goody is gonna get there. Aegis does have storms, and that gives me a tiny bit of hope. Because if ToonDragon clumps up his Vikings, the storms could hurt. By the way, I feel like ToonDragon... Honestly, in a weird way, I feel like they're both very good for 3.4k. Like, sure, there's a couple things that obviously they can do better. But if I look at how ToonDragon plays Mech right now, and you wouldn't tell me that he's 3.4k, I wouldn't think that he's 3.4k. I think he's way higher. He looks as good as the guys that I play against. You know, this is the beauty of Mech, I guess. It's so hard to tell skill, but... yeah, this is 3,400 MMR, and I feel like it looks legit for 3.4k. Like, I've seen Pi play. Pi is 4k. This looks a lot better to me. A lot better. Like, no, I'm talking, there are levels to this game. He's moving away from storms, like he's targeting the right units with the Vikings, he's landing a lot of Yamatos. ToonDragon is just doing so many things right. I think the one way for Aegis to defeat him is just by going freaking ham on the gateway units in the upcoming games. And make it almost impossible for ToonDragon to get up to like 3-4 bases. Because if ToonDragon gets these setups, I don't think he's going to lose. He actually has a Ghost Academy. Honestly, it's a silly thing to say, Arigmau. I really don't see how you can ever look at this mech play and be like, this looks like 3.4k. I have played against a lot of mech players that are 5.5 and I see no difference. I don't know, maybe you do, but I really don't see it. Maybe like there is a lack of harass. Maybe it's a little bit too turtly. Maybe like a higher level mech player tries to expand a tiny bit quicker, which does make them vulnerable to attack, and put slightly more emphasis on the harass. But you know, once games turn into these 4+ base scenarios, I don't think ToonDragon does it worse than a 5k player. I legitimately, like, right, Optimist? Like, Goody might be better in the beginning. There's a very big storm, and this is the one time where maybe ToonDragon moved his Vikings a little bit back, or slightly too late. Honestly, guys, if you see Goody in a 19-minute game, this looks like Goody. Yeah, okay, the one time we give them some praise, there is a storm that does a bit too much damage. But throughout the series, ToonDragon has taken a lot of great fights, stuck around for the right amount of time, saved more BCs than HeroMarine did against Reynor, for instance, in that one game in El Dorado. I think he's done just a really, really good job. We've got a Ghost Academy and we have 3 barracks. So we should build a couple ghosts. But maybe ToonDragon just believes that all he needs is a few more BCs. And I kid you not, I'm legit not saying this because I want to be nice or like, oh, look at me. I think some of these fights, Aegis did it better than me. And I'm not joking. And you guys may be like, well, Roddy, I think that says more about you. Well, that's fine, maybe it does, but I think some of these fights, I would have legitimately just A-moved, stormed, and stick it out to the bitter end, and then get obliterated and say mech is busted. Like, Aegis is legitimately doing a good job in moving her army around, landing a couple of big storms. ToonDragon has moved his Vikings away. Now there's Vikings and BCs against Tempest, another storm, but he moved the Vikings forward. It is just the mech army is so freaking good. Here are these Yamatos. Good target fire, by the way, from the Tempest. It's a lot of BCs falling. In the end, the Vikings are a bit too much to deal with. Like what Aegis, for instance, can do better is if you take a fight like this, have a pylon and a gateway here. Have 22 gateways ready. If we have 8,000 minerals, we can have 22 gateways. We should obviously always saturate our gases because we have minerals for days. We lack gas. So these are things that, you know, we can all agree could be better. Only 2 here, 0 here. Like, that is a mistake. That is something that Aegis could do a lot better. But when it comes to the army movement and the actual battles, I'm legitimately impressed. I generally mean that. Just saturate your gases, get 22 gateways, and have some reinforcements. Maybe Zealots could help it. I don't believe in Zealots. Well, Zealots could do something running into the 3rd, for instance, but you can have 44 Zealots. Planetaries are really good. If there's planetaries not done yet, then Zealots are useful, but I just think we need to fix our gases. There could be some nerfs as well. It seems like we're trying. We have a lot of the right ideas. Just don't quite have the execution. It is obviously a lot of bases to manage for players around this level. Starcraft 2 definitely becomes more complicated. The more bases you have to look at, the more things you have to worry about. If Vicky would see this, he's like, look, it's 2 cannons, it's me and my babe. Only one of them can get warped in though. Aegis even trying to take the bottom right side. One hell of a first best of 5. And it's the first of 4 series that I have to cast. I have been warned that ToonDragon likes to take his time. And it's a different kind of Terran. Well, definitely putting on a show, and he's giving us a couple of very unique fights. Tempest, Immortals, and the Stalkers are going to take out a planetary. Can Aegis land a few more big storms? The Mega. There is still a world, obviously, where Aegis wins this game if he lands a couple of monstrous storms on the Vikings. The Temple, oh, I don't know if I like that fight. We had no high ground vision there for a little bit, so we had to move the entire army forward. The spread on the Vikings is legitimately sexy. Like, I would not do this as a Terran. Then again, I can't do anything as a Terran. That is a beautiful concave from ToonDragon. Just, I think you can definitely see that this man has years and years of experience when it comes to playing mech, when it comes to playing Sky Terran. No Tempest damage upgrade. That's something we've seen with some of the pros as well. Something that obviously Aegis should have. He is getting right now. But that's not going to make a difference in the actual fights, right? That's going to make a difference against the missile turret, the planetary. Not going to clean up this army. Aegis clearly came in with a plan. She has done her homework and she has tried to do, I think, what people told her to do. And she's done a lot of things right, but it's just barely not working. So switch it up. We really gotta just go ham on some gateways. Let's be crazy. Let's do our thing in game 3. We have tried to do the quote-unquote correct thing twice. It is not working out. Let's try to do our thing. Now at this point it's just too late. Like, the 40 Zealot warp in is indeed fantastic. If the Terran is on 2 bases going up to 3, you've got 15 Zealots in the natural, 15 Zealots in the main, 15 Zealots in the third. Yeah, that's when it's freaking awesome. But if the Terran has 4 planetaries, is maxed out, and currently has 10 BCs, you can warp in 422 Zealots, and it's not going to make a difference. You might get an EV. Maybe a depot. A mine out gas, but that's just it. I agree with that, damn. And that is like the downside of trying to blind counter, soft counter, call it how you want it. You're letting people play the game that they have a lot of experience in. No, I think that the opportunities of Terran losing, the potential is kind of over. Aegis is gonna try to once more re-establish his base in the top left, but I think at this point you're just never gonna have enough gas. You have like 2,500 gas left here. That's not crazy much. You're gonna lose this thing. The DCs take out another Nexus. They'll use tactical jump. Woo, the boys! The boys against the girls. The girls are winning though. Full surround from the ladies. Look at those ladies go. Take that. The ladies beat up the men. Once more. Always knew it. These guys saw it and they're like, whoa. I don't want that smoke. No! Leave us alone! No! Okay. The boys have called in the reinforcements. They're like, well, some of these chicks are badass. They're thinking about it. Oh, they're thinking about it! The boys are fighting back. Hey! Unnecessary roughness. No! One of the ladies is falling. Second lady's going down. Third lady. Fourth lady. Blue Flame Hellions. This is Mozart. The boys are chasing the ladies all over town at this point. This is certainly an interaction. No. No. Couple of the an SCV with 2 kills, 1 kill. Another probe falling. No, she's stuck. No, no. That probe, her name was Abby, and she deserved a better ending than that. Anyway, back to the badass units. No SCVs, no probes. Back to battle cruisers in the top left side, firing a couple of Yamatos. All the cannons are unpowered, and Aegis is going to lose access to even more gas. Gas that she so desperately needs. We have now basically maxed out on Tempest. Honestly, pure Tempest High Templar is actually an army that could work. Since... Oh, somebody's lagging. What the hell? No, not no. We're okay. Oh, but the ghost and there's no observer, guys. EMPs! Okay, somehow we... Honestly, firing 2 EMPs and hitting 1 High Templar there is impressive. I'm not going to lie, that was good. No, the High Templars are not storming. Oh no, they were a little bit too late. In the end, they land 1 storm in between the tanks and the missile turrets, and that is going to do it. Alright. That showed a little bit of that 3.4k MMR magic, guys. We missed the EMPs and we missed the storms at the same time. I don't think it really would have changed anything. ToonDragon should have always won this game there in the end. But yeah, with how late... Okay. If Aegis is stuck in her ways where she says, I have to get Tempest, I actually think pure Tempest Storm could get the job done against the way that ToonDragon plays. Because he goes very heavy on BCs, very heavy on Vikings, very few tanks out there, and the ghosts are mega late if we never get ghosts. So perhaps pure High Templar Tempest kind of get it done. Now it's obviously scary if there's a bunch of Blue Flame Hellions driving your way. Void Race with speed, yeah. I think there's a lot of things you can do against a Terran that plays like this. My suggestion is still keep life simple. Expand quickly, get an economic lead, and spam gateway units. Zealots, Stalkers, here, there, everywhere. You just make sure that the Terran doesn't get 3 bases, and if they ever get 3 bases, you damn sure make sure they won't get 4. That's my advice. Hello, Jay can't make it, he's too busy. Thank you so much, matey, for the 9 months. We've already been 1 hour into this edition of the Big Brain Bouts, and we're only 2 maps in. So I do hope that Solar took a nap. Because if Solar is going to try to stay up, it could be a rough one. ToonDragon is 3-3, but he can beat 4,500 Zergs. I believe it. I mean, I think he legitimately does a lot of very good things. And I'm not saying that to be Mr. Nice Guy or praise anybody that we invite into the Big Brain Bouts. You know, if it's comically bad, I will generally just call it out and say like, hey, it's a game. We can have fun. This was pretty bad. I'm impressed. I'm legitimately impressed by both of them. I think they do a lot of things right. ToonDragon says ready. Waiting for Aegis to give us the go-ahead. I hope that Aegis gives us something crazy here in Game 3. So he says go, go, go. ToonDragon ready in all caps. Game 3. I was already thinking, guys, of having a cheeky drink after this series. Oh, I'm definitely having a cheeky drink. It is Friday. We had a great week. And there is, I mean, I can't get too ahead of myself, but there might be a real reason to have a whiskey soon. Where I can celebrate something that for me is going to be very magical and will be a proper milestone. But now I'm getting way ahead of everything, so I shouldn't do that. But it's Friday night, we can definitely have a whiskey.
Round 3. Fight.
I even got myself a new bottle of Woodford Reserve today. We got the double payday last week, so there was never a better moment to pick up a bottle. Top right side, guys, of Platinum Heroes. We are looking at the main base of a Singaporean Terran who loves to make it happen. This is ToonDragon. Me and ToonDragon Archon Terran 3-0'd a 4800 Zerg in 15 minutes. What's your MMR? You're the Canadian Zerg J now. I mean, you're a very good Zerg, so that should be possible. It's Friday morning, time for a beer. If your Friday is free, mate, who's stopping you? If you're over 18 or 21 in some countries. Love America. Well, not everything about it, but I love most things about America. That is a very silly rule. 21 is a little old-fashioned. Bottom left side, guys, of Amygdala. We are looking at the main base of our German Protoss. He's down 0-2. I hope that he's going to switch it up and just be a little crazy. This is Aegis. Why were these two chosen? Well, ToonDragon was chosen because I needed somebody around this MMR. Aegis was chosen because I think he deserves it. He shows activity in the online cups. He is active in various communities. He has gone to offline events. And that is what the first match of the day is all about. MMR does not matter. Sometimes we keep it around 5k. Sometimes we go a lot lower. Just show some appreciation to people that have been active in the Starcraft 2 community. Yeah, that's a crazy one, right, Freedom Fan? I don't see how anyone can justify that. That makes sense. To me, that doesn't make sense. Hi, Roddy. I got roughly 900 MMR in Macabellum. In case I met you, would it be okay if I react to it? React to it in what way? You mean keep my stream open? That would be tough for me, I guess. If you mean before or after, of course. I am a little bit higher than that, though, mate. I'm 1240 at the moment. I actually got clapped by a guy that was 1400 MMR before I started this stream. I hate to admit it, guys, but you'll never guess which unit he had absolutely crazy amounts of, and he clapped me with it. I'm sure that eventually you guys will guess it, but it will not be at the top of your guess priority. Not the Phoenix. He had so many of a certain thing everywhere from different angles. Yeah, Pi got it. Fang. I literally got clapped by a million fangs, one set of steel balls, and a couple rhinos. But literally, fangs everywhere. Like, he's so many. He had him in the bottom left, in the top left, in the bottom right, in the top right, at the front, in the back, defending. Like, he had fangs everywhere. And he just kept killing my tower with his 2 steel balls and his rhino. It was ridiculous. No ignite. I'm sure he had shields and he upgraded them, but I just got clapped by a million fangs. Already said my name for the first time. Honestly, I can say all of your names, guys, as long as your names are appropriate. And sometimes I have to even say the inappropriate names, like when my man Robshit Balls resubscribes. I gotta be nice and thank him, but I'm sure that it raises a couple eyebrows. Why is Roddy talking about Robshit Balls over here? But he can say all the names. Well, Roddy tries to say all the names. Half of them I completely butcher like no tomorrow. People don't even know I'm talking about them. What do you mean? I can say Sabadas. There's nothing wrong with Sabadas. Seb and I have agreed a long time ago that as long as he wants to get paid by me, my little charity effort every single month, it is Sabadas. If he ever leaves Team Roddy, if he wants to spread his wings, if he finds a new warm home, he can go back to being Sebastes. But as long as he's under my wing, it's Sabadas, baby. Just sounds better. He will thank me one day. Or like maybe when Seb grows up to be one hell of a gamer, either in Starcraft or a different title, and he ever gets interviewed on stage by hopefully Smix or something, it's like, talk to me about your nickname. And he can be like, well, it writes Sabadas, but the S is silent. Sounds better. Sabadas. And I'm sure that Smix will be like, damn, that's cool, what a kid. He stopped to Oliveira. What platform did Oliveira stream? By the way, Allison, out of curiosity, has there been any news lately around Oliveira? You are kind of like my source in the Chinese Starcraft scene. Has Oliveira done or said anything ever since the official retirement, or has it been ultimate radio silence? Oliveira's coming to the US? What is he gonna do? Sell out Staples Center with a documentary about his Katowice victory? Oh, I'd be there. I do a lot of things, Spy. But I would never bully Soda. I'll definitely bully you. Maybe Wingend. Like, Wingend is still young enough that I don't want to go too hard on him, but he's close to the point where he's gonna experience a different side of the Roddy. Not quite. Like, you're an old man and you're Eastern European. You've got very thick skin. You gotta be sweet to the young German kids out there. But the older they get, the harsher you can be. But Sep, I've never bullied. Could never bully Mars Bar either, he's just too nice. Well, you know, Winged has a surprisingly feisty side in him. And as our good friend Johan Mello has taught us a long time ago, if you can't take it, then don't dish it out. And as much as I love Winged, he does dish it out a little. So that's all good. But then you gotta take it in too. You heard Winged cast for the first time? I'm sure he will do a good job in that. Didn't hear. Maybe we can get a Winged cast at the upcoming Home Story Cup. Aegis is sticking to what was the game plan entering this series, guys, and that is opening up with Blink, the way that people love to open up with Blink, but then quick Immortals, Double Forge, air upgrades. I'm afraid that Game 3 is going to be the same song and dance. And I don't think Aegis has played poor throughout the series at all. I just think that playing like this truly allows ToonDragon to do his thing. And if you let ToonDragon do his thing, well, then he's, I think, damn good. Clearly a lot better than the 3400 MMR that the man is known for. You let him max out on Vikings and carriers, or Vikings and battlecruisers, excuse me, with a couple tanks and planetaries. ToonDragon, I think, is legitimately very, very good. Winged is low-key a great caster. I'd love to see it. Hello, Mixer. Let's get winging on the couch then. Upcoming Home Story Cup. You can get the Wingend Mixu cast. Mixu can tell Wingend how this is hell for the Zerg. Wingend is gonna argue and disagree because he's German and that's what the Germans like to do. Actually, it's not. And Mixu's gonna explode. It's gonna be great. How about Mixu, Wingend, and Air? Whew! Now that is a cast. I would step away from the poker table for that one. And that'd be so good. Please, for the love of everything, let's make it happen. 27th of June, opening day. Wingend, Mixu, Airniac. Oh, no, I wouldn't either multi, but I'd definitely put audio on. I would want to hear all of it. And then some. Yeah, let's be honest. I won't step away at all. Wingend actually reminds me of a young X-Lord. Yeah, that's... Honestly, mate, I never thought of that. But now the moment that I read it, I can actually see that, yeah. I can see that. I do think that Wingend is a little bit nicer than X-Lord. X-Lord was always... Even though I got along with him very well, X-Lord can be... I don't say a little bit of a dick sometimes. There's no other way to put it. And I think X-Lord was a bit more cocky as well. But then again, X-Lord also had the skills to back it up because he was already a competitive gamer. If Wingend instead of 5k was 6k, maybe he'd be as cocky as X-Lord. Honestly, mate, never thought of it, but I like it. I can definitely see it. Oh no, he can be out there, alpha guy, trust me. Who is X-Lord? X-Lord actually played Starcraft 2 as well at a very high level in the beginning of Wings of Liberty. I don't know how long he stuck around. He's basically from the same generation like Happy, where they were good Warcraft 3 players, became good Starcraft 2 players, and slowly went back to Warcraft 3. Kind of how Starbuck also went from Starcraft to Warcraft, and a few others. Vortex went back to Warcraft, right? X-Lord is that same generation. Early days, but he was legit quite good. Was a very young, talented gamer for a while. I even played against X-Lord at the World Cyber Games 2008 in Cologne. Back then, that was the biggest esports event of the year. And I was a commentator, but I was also a player. I qualified for the tournament. And I was in a group with Lucifron, still around. X-Lord is still around to some degree. Focus, still around. And Aka, I believe, who is now playing poker for a living. And a German and a Polish night elf. But I played X-Lord back then. Take care, Jay. Thank you for stopping by, mate. Thank you for the resub, and I hope you have a great Friday. And if I don't see you throughout the weekend, I hope you have a fantastic weekend. We are 15 minutes behind schedule. First series of the day. The BASILISK Big Brain Bouts number 89. $60 for the winner of this series. 15 for the loser. And we have seen a lot of mech. We've seen a lot of Vikings. We've seen a lot of Tempest. Hello, ToonDragon. We've seen a lot of great Viking control throughout the series. This was most certainly a flyby out of Top Gun, but obviously then this is Tom Cruise. You know, a lot of his buddies went down. Tom barely survived. It was a crazy mission. I don't know who approved this mission, but... Sorry, so many emails. I think I'm gonna have to remove my phone from here on out, guys. I don't have a lot of notifications on my phone. The only thing that I have are my emails, but since I'm actually growing up for once, I now have a lot of emails. And now I'm getting distracted while I'm watching my games and doing my thing. Can I go back to this being a pleb? Nah. I like having more things to get excited over. I need to manage that. Because normally everything can wait, all the DMs can wait, all the High Templars are gonna go into the meat grinder. It is technically a nice moment to attack because this base is not a planetary yet, but the Viking count is so freaking high. The battle cruise is doing that thing. It is honestly some really good storms on the side of Aegis. But I think ToonDragon is gonna get away with this base, even though we're gonna need a few more Vikings. What do we got here? Stalkers, poking a refinery. It is something. May not be a lot, but it is something. Yeah, you mean like the little dotted line, right? Below the unit. Actually, this one. So there is this thing called flyer help. And you can see where the units are. And if you want to storm them, you basically drop them here. I don't know if Aegis has that turned on or turned off. I think it's mostly just panic. Like, we can't forget that this is 3,400 MMR. We have a lot of bases. We have big armies. We gotta spread our units a little bit. We're trying to make sure that the Tempest shoot at the battle cruisers. We're trying to make sure that the carriers shoot at the Vikings. And then you do all of that, and you warp in units, and you're still macroing to then also land good storms. And maybe landing good storms should be higher up in the list of priorities. But it's first series of the day, 3,400 MMR. I said this a few times, and I'll stand by it. I am legitimately very, very impressed by both of them. I think Aegis took some really good fights and has a lot of good ideas. Unfortunately, is playing someone with a crazy amount of experience in games like this. And the way that ToonDragon plays in the late game is legit very impressive. Obviously, this Viking rally here already is a bit silly. Things are very slow, and I think against a better or a higher level Protoss, that just applies a lot more aggression. I don't think ToonDragon gets here very often. But once ToonDragon gets here, he's just really good. Aegis does have a couple of Archons leading the charge, but in the end it's the tanks that make the difference on the ground, and now we are left with pure Tempest. Tempest are gonna get misrallied. I am afraid that slowly but steady, this is just gonna turn into more of Game 1 and Game 2. I still think it's been a very fun series, and I did tell Aegis a few times, don't worry about it too much, don't stress for it, don't panic, just enjoy. As long as you have fun playing in the Big Brain Bouts, I think that's the only thing that matters. It is a community event. And I hope he's having a good time. Obviously, it's hard to really be happy if it goes 0-3. Hey, maybe one day we'll see more of Aegis. The first match is a popular one. A lot of people want to play in the first series of the day. I get that. And I don't just want to invite the same players over and over again. But as long as he had some fun, and at least it wasn't like a 12-minute 0-3, you know, where nothing went wrong and you die against the first 8 circlings. Plenty of bases have been taken, a lot of explosive fights have taken place. So even if it is an 0-3, I think there was hopefully some stuff to enjoy. That is definitely true, then. Like, I think if you put ToonDragon against a Protoss that spams gateway units that is 4,100, it will look like maybe the biggest mismatch ever and be like, wow, ToonDragon can't get anything done. But I think that is more of a stylistic thing at that point. I don't know if this is how Aegis always plays against people that play mech, or if this is like an all-around game style of her, but I don't think so. It definitely does seem to be designed to be good against mech. And in theory, a lot of the choices are very good against mech. We expand quicker, we open blink, but we transition so we're not stuck on a lot of stalkers. There's just one really, really big problem with this playstyle, and that is that the mech player gets 4 bases. And when people say mech is bad, they're never talking about 5-base mech being bad. They're talking about the moment going from 2 to 3 bases. That's where mech is bad. And Protoss gets too far ahead and gets too many bases. Aegis is definitely taking way better trades this game. There's still a very good chance for Aegis in this game. Not impossible. Fighting near planetaries and missile turrets is hard though. This is where interceptors will melt. I'm afraid that High Templars are gonna die again against a tank or a planetary. Final tank does die. And now the planetary can keep the High Templars away. The High Templars are looking for storms. First storm, second storm, storm, Aegis. Just keep on storming. Just keep on storming. Honestly, close, crazy fight. And the Tempest, the target fire of the Tempest legit has been good again. Yeah. Honestly, ToonDragon actually starving for money. And if a mech player is nowhere near maxed out and they are lacking money, Aegis gets the planetary. Is there a game 4 after all? I'd be very happy. Even though we're gonna be way behind schedule, but this is looking really... Aegis has expanded like an absolute mad lad. Taking the top left, bottom right, maybe the saturation isn't quite there. This is as good as any game has looked for Aegis. And we still have storms. We landed a couple big storms. I am a tiny bit worried about the 20 Vikings. But honestly, Solar playing a lot later is good. Because if I was Solar, I would have just gone to bed. You don't try to stay up. Land a storm, second storm, a little bit of overkill. Our Templars walk. There's one tank, by the way, is getting really big shots off. Storms continue to be okay, but I think in the end maybe we stuck around a little bit too long. We did not have the immediate reinforcements, so Aegis does end up losing all of the Templars, all of the Tempest. Has the economy to recover, but I'm a tiny bit worried about her gas income. Even though we've done a much better job this time. We got bottom right, we got top left. Gonna lose some gas income here. This one is not properly saturated, but it's okay. Yeah. This definitely because ToonDragon is kinda broke and has had a relatively tiny army supply before fights, after fights. Yeah, if Aegis instead of 10 gateways has 22 gates, you just remax on 22 stalkers, and after that you get 22 zealots and you go brr, brr, brr. The league is Diamond League. Ooh, the yellow submarine. Oh, that's a big base. That is a really, really, really big base. So the Protoss player has the entire map, right, guys? Right? Right? Oh my god, it's so many. How many orbitals does the man have? Only 4. Must have been maxed out on energy there. It's looking good for Aegis, it's promising, but I'm still worried. Because 1800 gas is just not a crazy amount of gas. And if we lose another fight, like this tiny army that we're looking at now is probably already more than 1800 gas. Oh. I mean, maybe it is around 1800 gas, whatever you guys can count. No, it's probably more, right? 6 Tempests, bunch of Stalkers, and we're looking at 5 High Templars. Max out on Stalkers, that would be a very bad idea. Reinforcing with Stalkers is a great idea. Maxing out on Stalkers is a really bad idea. And we are now misplacing a Nexus. No. You would. I mean, that's okay. But just because you would, you're allowed to. But it doesn't make it a good idea. Is Skytolls better than Air Terran? No. Skytolls is only better when it comes to like the rolling fights, when it comes to a couple storms, when it comes to reinforcements. That's when Skytolls becomes better. But if it's I Skytolls, you Sky Terran, let's meet in the middle and fight, Sky Terran is gonna be a whole lot better. Yeah, in some of the early interactions, you can say that maybe Sky Protoss is better than Sky Terran or Skytoss, but that has a lot more to do with the upgrades. You know, if Terran lacks upgrades and carriers have +2, yeah, Vikings melt like no tomorrow. But that's not a thing. And 3-3 battle cruisers do not give a damn about carriers, Phoenix, even do not really care about Void Race. Skytoss is good if you're ahead in upgrades, or if you have an overwhelming economy. Then Skytoss is really good. If upgrades are even, and the sizes are even, that's when you need more. That's when you need the not let's swing and bang fight. No, we need a rolling fight. You poke, you kite, you run back, you drop storm, another storm, another storm. The longer the fights go, the better it is for Protoss. I'm gonna try to attack here with 10 Stalkers. I don't know about this fight, guys. We're running into a planetary. The storms are not connecting. There are 4 tanks. It's such a good spot for ToonDragon to fight. A planetary on the right and 4 tanks hidden underneath all the Vikings and DCs. Aegis has now lost 9,000 resources more in this game. That is how the tab looks. 4 Archon Force. I don't know about this fight either, guys. The PFs, the tanks, so good. It's so good. And I know you guys probably won the okay, Roddy, we get it, but what fight would you like? I don't know. Okay, hey, we got some zealots, we got multitasking. Couple zealots getting on top of the planetary. Oh, no. This is maybe the best fight that we could possibly get. We land a couple big storms, that is a lot of Vikings going down. Only 6 Vikings remain, so the storms are definitely adding up. Those were excellent storms. How's ToonDragon's gas income looking? 1200-ish. Vikings are expensive. Need this gas too, I guess. At this point, all of her focus should be on making sure every single gas he has is properly saturated. This one, and this one. This game is going to be won by gas, not minerals. Oh, no, that is a ruddy engagement. That is a ruddy engagement if I've ever seen one. High Templars walk in range of the planetary, in range of the tanks. That was a massive win for ToonDragon. Ooh, Aegis got the mummy ship. +3 attack, +3 armor. Very cool upgrades on the side of Aegis. ToonDragon has a whole bunch of PCs in the bottom right side. They're gonna get on top of the Nexus. No repair on the planetary. If only that would have happened a little while ago. And we still had all those High Templars, eh? If only that would have happened before we lost all of our High Templars. If you get 30 gauge, you've got no more money. So, I do think that Aegis should have been at 22, 24 gateways at this point. But right now, warping in 30 gateways is a little bit too late. Raise Viking control once more by ToonDragon. Our Singaporean Terran has really done an excellent job throughout the night with his Vikings. A little slip up here, there, everywhere, but outside of that, legit impressive stuff. Don't see Mech too often in TVP. I'm very happy about that in general, but on the Friday night, Big Brain Bouts first series of the day, I don't mind making an exception. It has been an entertaining series, but it's starting to look more and more like it will go ToonDragon's way. Unless Aegis can land Storm straight out of Ire Heaven. I don't know if there is a heaven on Ire, but if there is one, we need it. Yeah. I really think like I landed. Playing against ToonDragon, if I have another, let's say 3500 MMR Protoss that has to play ToonDragon, I would say whatever you do, don't play slow styles. You're gonna play fast styles. You're gonna expand like an absolute maniac. You're gonna get double forge, you're gonna get 22 gateways and War Prism speed. That is the highest tech you'll get. And you're gonna rally nothing but Zealots and Stalkers into 4 different bases. ToonDragon throws down a scan after taking out the base in the bottom right side. The BC army looks big, feisty, intimidating. It seems like Aegis is going for a recall. Recall versus tactical jump. Now we are out of position in the top left and the BCs could casually kill this base. That is actually a great play by ToonDragon. You recall towards the bottom right. I'll use tactical jump to the top left. Yeah, smart. Smart play. And obviously that is going to favor our Singaporean Terran, who has this base and is a maxed out Terran. The High Templars have died indeed a couple of times. We've got 4 of them left though. We indeed are lacking the Tempest upgrade, but I think at this point it's not about the buildings, it is about oh my god, 28 Vikings. Ay. Well, that does give potential for the sickest storms we've ever seen. Deadlock is a game where you get access to all the stats and you always see how much damage you dealt and you received and how your damage was dealt, where it came from. I would love to see 28 Vikings clumped up for 0.2 seconds and have a single High Templar land the storm on it. then gets picked off. Carriers switch targets. Vikings getting basically, it's overkill. We're not even talking about one-shotting a carrier. We're talking about overkilling a carrier. That's crazy, no? If Vegas pulls this one out, it might be a 16-hour stream. Hey, we're already going strong for 3 hours. Mothership lands in the maze. Oh my goodness, the time warp and the storm. It could have been so good, but ToonDragon does an excellent job in moving the Vikings back. And it turns out that the meching Terran army is better than your army. And I'm afraid for Aegis that her journey in the Big Brain Bouts ends here. Seems like ToonDragon was a very difficult opponent to deal with. I still hope that she had a good time. I hope she had fun. We're gonna try to land one more sweet storm. Land it! Give me, oh no, a single alien has killed 4 High Templars. That is going to do it. The opening series, community series on the Friday night. The goals to ToonDragon, our Singaporean 3,400 MMR Terran, wins 60 buckies. But he has already said he doesn't want them. He really likes Basilisk. He likes all the things that we have done for the scene. And he says, I would love it if you guys just keep it and use the money elsewhere on Starcraft. We can obviously do that. Aegis will still get $15 for playing her series. We are behind schedule, so I'm going to try to speed things up a little bit. I've got something that I need to show you guys. A little teaser. Consider it a little teaser. Now I need to find it first, as we get ready for a second series. Alright. Let's first settle a prediction. Get ready for the next prediction immediately. Next one is a PvP. That could bring us back up to speed, right? I honestly think the games were fun, Aegis. And I think you did so many things right. It's just hard. I think mech is really, really hard. ToonDragon played well. Clearly a Reynor got 12 gift subs already. Why is that? Why do I have to give 12 subs? Who gifted 12 subs? ToonDragon is the winner. That is correct. Sorry, now I'm distracted. Alright, next up is Sabbathus. The S is silent versus Art. PvP, 6,000 MMR. Winner gets 80 bucks, the loser gets 20. Sabbathus. Czech Republic MP from Team Ruddy. And Art, not all capitals, are Polish P. They're both very good. I'll give you guys 50 minutes to get your predictions in because I have to show you guys something first. Here we go. Alright, it has already been tweeted out. Oh, I'm not in charge of the money, mate. So no. I mean, if they want it, they can always spend it on me, but I don't think that's really what Basilisk or what ToonDragon had in mind. He'll probably think of something else rather than giving me subbies. Guys, whether you use a Blue Sky or Twitter, Basilisk has tweeted something out, posted something. I don't know how we're supposed to call it these days. I'm way too old for this, but take a look at this one and hopefully enjoy it.
It's just a puzzle game.
A puzzle? Oh no.
You don't know what Portal is really?
I can't jump in it.
Oh, you need to throw the ball from over like a dream.
A little teaser. I'll link it in the chat as well. This is the Blue Sky link.
It's just a puzzle game.
And we
A
have
puzzle? Oh no.
Twitter linky too. You guys can choose whatever you want to click on. It is not, the entire video is not out yet. The teaser is out, but apparently there is going to be something along the lines of Serral and Reynor puzzling, having fun, playing various video games. And you guys should be able to watch all of that over at our YouTube channel. If you guys do !Basilisk, I don't think the entire video is up yet, guys, because that would kind of defeat the purpose of a teaser, right? But it will be posted on this YouTube channel as soon as they are happy with it. They're done. They have found out the secret to puzzling. But yeah, that should be fun. So you guys can watch Reynor, Serral, maybe Trigger will join. Play various games, including Portal. Guys, I'll take a tiny break because there was a lot of talking. There was a lot of yapping, and I'm an old man. I'll see you guys in, give or take, 3 minutes for the PvP on the European server. Big Brain Bouts 89. Hope you guys are having fun. See you guys soon.